Alrighty-dighty, guys. Hold on one second. Let me know if this sounds okay. Let me know if you can hear me. Nice. Thank you. 1 second, okay? Just letting people know that I'm going live. Okay, one more. Okay. Hope everybody's good today. Thank you to everybody who is coming in now. Hopefully the sound is good. Hopefully you can see my screen. I'm live, babe. Okay, so I can see I got lots of requests already coming in. All right, so we'll just start with Bitcoin real quick here, okay? And then we'll move on to the requests. All right, so the most important thing we're worried about right now is, are we going to make a 5-wave move, okay? Because we need it. We need it for this to be potentially over. Now, if you pull a fib extension, and I know some of you already know this, but maybe some of you this is the first time you've ever watched my channel. On log scale, we did not hit this 1-to-1. Okay, let me see if I can make my okay. I don't think I can make the fibs any bigger, but so on log, we didn't hit this 1-to-1, but on linear, we did hit it. And is that what it's supposed to be? Well, I can't say, but if it is, we've hit the 1-to-1 and we could potentially turn around here and be on our way for the big fifth wave. But the only way that is going to happen is if we make a 5-wave move here. To start a big fifth wave, you have to make a wave 1, a wave 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? You have to. There's no way around it. That is what has to happen. Okay? So to start that off, you have to make 5 waves for your wave 1. All right? So that's what we're all eyeballing right now is, are we going to get this 5 waves? And let me know if the screen's okay, if you can see everything. because I had to do some adjustments, and I'm not sure if I got it too small, too big. Okay, so we want this 5 waves. Well, let's talk about a few things if we do get it. If we do get it, well, there's one other thing, there's one correction in Elliott wave that starts with 5 waves also, and that is a zigzag. So, say we make the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and a 5 on up there, okay? What we need to watch out for is that we don't turn this into a zigzag. And, okay, because what starts with 5 ends with 5, but we can definitely get a zigzag. And if, for those of you that watch my channel, you know that I carry on about 3-wave moves because we don't want a 3-wave move here. And this would be a 3-wave move that could potentially take us up to this 618 area, right here in this resistance. We don't want the 3 waves because all that means is that we have made what I call a connector, and we are going to match it up with this leg to the downside. Okay? So we don't want that. We don't want that to happen. We will not know that it's going to happen until it does. Because if we get the 5th wave here and we pull back and we start taking off, we're not going to know whether it's a 3rd or it's a C until it produces itself. Okay? But we don't want that. And I just want to warn of it. And it's a ways away, and I would definitely update before that. So let's take a look at this up close real here. And if you pull a fib extension on it, okay, so it's too big. Let me fix it real quick. Yes, you're right. You can't see the price. How's that? How's that look? Better? Good. Okay. All right, so when we pull a fib extension on this potential wave 1 to the wave 2, on linear scale, we're just shy of the 1.618. Okay, we did not hit it. And on log, we didn't hit it. But on linear, I would probably accept that as close enough. Okay, I mean, it didn't quite hit it, but it's close enough. Okay, but what we absolutely have to have is this 5th wave up here to 49,500. If we don't get it, guys, this is not a 5-wave move. And what it means is that we have made a 3-wave move, which is an A, a B, and a C. Okay? Now, I talked about this in my prior video, that even though we would be corrective, okay, we could still climb correctively, meaning that we climb in what's called a complex correction, where we would make zigzag nature of corrections. Okay, we pull back, we do another one, and on up we'd climb until we got up there higher. This would still end up being a potential X, or if we climbed high enough up to the 786 here, we could put that D in for the triangle. Okay? Because the triangle needs to get up to the 786 for the D. This would be A, this would be B, this would be C, D, and E. The reason it has to get up to the 786 is because when you pull a fib extension on A, this C wave hit the 786. So your D leg has to hit the 786. That's the way triangles work. Okay? So that's how we could get up there for the triangle. I'm going to turn this off until I need it because it's bugging me. Okay? That's how we could climb up there. We've done it before, guys. We have had big climbs like that before. This is a perfect example of it. Okay? That on the 4-hour time frame is a huge climb. And we climbed in the same manner in the channeling motion. This was a WXY. Could have been a WXYXZ. Okay, but we climbed high and then bam. So definitely we can do it again, but this is the way we would climb correctively, and we would put in a D. Okay? All right. So even if we don't get the 5 waves, hopefully there's hope that we can climb up correctively, because if this is all we're going to get, okay, just an ABC like this, that's not too good. Okay? And the reason why it's not too good is because it brings our leg lower. So the higher we rally here for an X, the higher will be for the Y. Okay? All right. Now, I'm not going to dive too deeply into this, but I know that a lot of traders or Elliottians are looking at this as a potential ABC. Well, I have a big problem with that, okay? Because I cannot make 5 waves out of this. I mean, this is clearly a zigzag, clearly a 3-wave pullback, and clearly a zigzag. If you try to finagle it as, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that, you have problems in every leg where waves overlap. Now, the only way that it's going to turn into a C, and this is not good, is if this is a what I call a 1-2-1-2, where this was 1, this was 2, and now we've got 1 and 2. Now, I'm really hoping that's not the case, because if it is, we're going to go into a bear market. Most likely this C is going to hit our potential 1, and it just wouldn't be good. But I wouldn't, get too concerned with that yet. Okay? Let's wait and see if we can first, 1, Can we make the 5-wave move? And see what happens after that. Now let's go down a little bit lower, and then we'll be done with Bitcoin and talk about this right here, because I'm sure everybody's wondering, is this going? One second. So here's one problem, okay? Is we have two potential options up here. One, we're making a leading diagonal right here, which I'm not a big fan of, okay? Where this is wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't really like that at all, but I guess it's possible. But if that is the case, it means that this is just a pullback and we're coming down for an A, B, C, or this is a wave 1, this is a wave 2, and we're going to come very deep, meaning we're definitely rolling over. If it's not a leading diagonal, then I cannot make this correction end down here. And the reason I can't make it end is because you have this correction coming down, okay, that you could potentially make it in there. And because the market did not take off in 5 waves from here to make that big 5th wave up, okay, that we need, and it made 3 waves, that is what a connector is. So what it did was it made the 3 waves, and then it made this connector. At that point, you have to match another leg to this one. And I can't match it with this leg coming down, and I can't match it with this leg coming down, because minimum requirement for a matching leg is the 618, and none of them hit that. No way that I finagle this, even if I try to pull this back here and say that this was a flat and then it was like this. It's the same difference. This should have taken off in 5 waves from there. And because it didn't, I have to match up a leg, and I can't do that. So that leads me into this upward move. The upward move, I feel, is an expanded type flat where we are making A, B, and C could get up here to this 2.618. Okay? Which means that this leg is going to partner with it. If it can get up here to the 2.618, that's really good. Because what that potentially means now is now I'm making my partner coming down. And what did I say the minimum requirements were? 618, right? So we could potentially hold up here above this prior 4th, up above the gap. This blue box is the gap. And we could potentially make a bullish correction where we make a higher low here and then go up for the 5th. I feel that if we lose the 618 here, that most likely, see this big gap here of nothingness. And I don't know. Oh, that's, I was showing somebody. That's why that's just here. I'm like, why is that there? Okay. Or support. Oh, it's right there. Okay. See this big gap in nothingness? See how we went through here in straight green candles? Came through here in straight red candles? If we lose this support, I feel like we're just going to waterfall effect just like we did here. So if we lose the 618 here, I don't think the 1-to-1 to hold us because we'll be filling the gap and we will have it broken this. I think we're going to come on down at least to this support. And what would that mean? Well, if we can get some bullish divergence with it, okay, then it will mean that we'll go higher. So we could turn this into an A, this into a B, and then up for C. Or WXY. And then once it gets up there to Y, it can pull back again and keep climbing correctively. Okay. So that is my thoughts on Bitcoin. Let me check the chat real quick and see if there's any questions on Bitcoin. I have to pull my glasses up to see it. Should have put the chat on the computer, but I forgot. All right. I don't really see any. If I missed yours question about Bitcoin, let me know. Going back to the beginning here and see who was the first to ask for an alt. Okay, Ingrid, vet. So, vet. And if you could, if you haven't requested yet, if you could put what exchange you wanted on, that will help me. Because I don't think this one has all the ones. And the one that has the most data also helps me. Okay. There, that looks good. Okay, well, looking at it from a weekly, our highest point on RSI is right here. So that is telling me that that is our third wave. So it looks like we got a 1, a 2, a 3. And if we can stay out of this territory right here, because we're not allowed to come back into 1, that has a good chance here to make this a 4th and then push up for 5th like Bitcoin. Okay. I'll get down in there and look at this 4th. I don't see a divergence between a 3rd and a 5th here. So that kind of tells me that it hasn't happened yet. We got a 3-wave move, 3-wave move, and this looks like 3 waves. We've got a little flat connector right here. And then this is its arm, its connector, its arm. Okay. Now, we're sitting in between 2 fib extensions here. Linear. I wish log and linear didn't exist. All right. Well, on linear, it's sitting on the 618. Oops. But so let's take a look at this little leg right here. And it looks a lot like okay, so in this case, this is definitely corrective. This is A, B, C. And the reason it is 100% is because this retrace has already come into the potential wave 1. Okay. So, unfortunately, for VET here, it could climb higher corrective, meaning where it turns this into a 3 wave, pulls back for 3, and then tries to climb higher. But what I see here is this connector here. It's going to end up coming deeper. And then this last leg here ends up being WXY. And then this 3-wave move gets extended out, whether it's done here or it tries to go higher. So this leg down. Okay. Now, as long as stays out of its wave 1, it will be okay. If it, a WXY really shouldn't go past the 1.382, but as you can see, that puts it in its wave 1. So it's got to hold the 1-to-1 or the 1.236 here. So it's got the 3, and now it's going to make this big 3. The higher this can climb, if this can climb high, it will bring this leg up higher, and that's what you want. Okay? If it goes into the 1, then it was an ABC to the upside. This was an ABC. And it just basically means that if this pulls back like ABC or WXY, it will use this to connect and try to go higher. So it really needs to stay out of its 1. Okay. I hope that helped, Ingrid. Next is ETH. ETH is exactly like Bitcoin. Like there's no real difference between those two. The only difference about ETH is ETH broke its prior fourth. So looking at ETH, it tells a story of that I really think ETH, it was an ABC. Because it broke its prior fourth. And now, most likely, this is a leg to the downside, a flat leg to the downside. I can't say, maybe it'll hold this support right here. And then it will try to climb higher. It'll use this 3, and it'll try to climb higher. And then we'll have to see how high it can do it. And then this leg gets connected here to the downside. And maybe it can potentially, this can climb higher. We could potentially not break this low right here. Okay. But that, yeah, that's ETH. It's in a nutshell there. It's lost its potential to be a 5-wave move, which, like I said, makes me think, well, maybe Bitcoin's not really going to do it either. All right. Vera, or BRA. All right, so it's pretty straightforward here. 1, 2. This is 3. Now here's the big debate. Okay, same as Bitcoin and ETH. Okay, do we get this 5th to the upside? Definitely a 3 down. This looks like 3 up, zigzag, same as Bitcoin and ETH, and now we're coming to the downside. So what matters is, what do we do here? Got to stay out of our 1, as you know. Okay. So I see a flat right here. So we have 3, connector, 3. Now it all depends on this, same as Bitcoin and ETH. What are we going to do here? Okay, if we don't rally in 5 waves, then we'll take a look at it closer. But if we don't rally in 5 waves, it means that it could potentially do this, and that is what it needs to do. Because the higher it can get this, then this leg can go higher and potentially not come so deep. But if it doesn't do that, then, and it doesn't make 5 waves, then this is going to be a connector to the downside more. And then this 4, maybe this right here. I mean, that's sticking out there pretty far there. Okay. So it ends up being WXY. And we'll take a look at that little wave and see what it's doing. Did I lose you guys? Let me know in the chat if you can still hear me, because my Discord is twirling. I lost you guys. Oh, good. Scared me there for a minute. All right, all this choppiness down here with these spikes up into the air. Oh, good. It's the same thing as we need this 5th wave. Like, this looks like a flat, unfortunately. Okay? Which means most likely we're going to come down like this. So it's the same exact thing where it can use this 3 to connect to this 3 to go higher. That is what it needs to do. It's got to do that. Otherwise, it's going to come deeper than, it would if it could get high, up maybe up to this resistance. Okay? But the deeper this comes, then it potentially will hit this one. And then we've got 3 connector. So this would turn into W, X, and then this whole thing would be Y. And maybe we'd hold 4 here. Okay. And really, guys, I don't even like the fact that all of these, some of these are, or actually it's not. I was thinking something else. Like, so we want to hold this line of right here, this 4 right here. We want to hold that. We don't want to break it. Okay. Okay. Oh, I got to go back further. Sorry. Okay, so Adam. I hope I get to all of your requests. If you hang in there with me, I will. Okay. See this overlap? See this overlap? That tells me right there that this is a little leading diagonal right there. So our first wave up hit a 1.236. Okay. So that tells me right there that that is a corrective wave. So what can we do with it to make it bullish? Three, 3. We'd have to consider this a zigzag. 3, 3, 3. Expanding, leading diagonal. There's several altcoins that have this look. One is XRP. Okay. So if this goes, so we've got 3 down here. Looks like it wants to do maybe 3 up. It needs to come out of this, unfortunately, guys. Okay. It needs to make a correction. But here's the good news. I know that that looks awful, but what this would be is a big wave 1. And this correction, which they like to come in between the 4 and the 2, they like to come right in this area after a diagonal. This would be a wave 2, which means what's to come would be gigantic, like the biggest bull run you ever saw. Okay. So that's really all I can make out of it. If it's not a expanding diagonal, then it's climbing correctively. Okay. Meaning it's WX, and if Bitcoin goes up, this would turn into a Y wave. Okay. And when Bitcoin was done, this could potentially come high, then it would come down. And it just means it's climbing correctively. But hopefully it's the expanding diagonal. I should leave these on here. I shouldn't delete them. Okay, we did ETH. Did we do VET? We did VET. Okay, Maytac. I may not have said that right. Don't laugh. All right. Well, this is an impulse wave. And then here's our pullback. This is a okay, well, it's got a potential leading diagonal. Which means if that is the case, they like to come back to their wave twos, like I said before. Okay. And if that is a leading diagonal, that means that it's a wave one, like a huge wave one. If not, and it just has the look of one, which could be the case because this is where ETH and Bitcoin made their inner B wave, okay? But that's really contracting, like, you know, that's a real contender for a leading diagonal. But if not, it means that, and this correction is so big that I don't see this as this pullback, this like this, and then this, that being a wave four, like Bitcoin and ETH. We're thinking those are wave fours. This is way too big. Way too big. Okay. And actually, we dumped over here first. So this is a three-wave move down. Okay. If this is not a leading diagonal, then we're making some kind of W, X, Y, or A, B, C. And this is definitely corrective. I can see the overlap. So the higher this goes, the better. If it can use it as a connector and get higher, then it can make this leg a three-wave move like this, and then it would be a Y instead of a C, but it's not that big a deal. You'd make this high or low, and then it would just go blast off another bull run. Okay? If it's the leading diagonal, then you absolutely cannot break that low. And they like to come down into this area. So it'll pull back and then it's ready to go. Like this actually looks good. I think it has a really good chance of not taking this out. It's probably the best one I've seen in a while. So the next one is comp. Let me know in the chat, and I'll come back to comp. but let me know in the chat if watching me chart these helped you, like watching me chart it helps you be able to see them more clearly, the patterns of Elliott wave. Okay. Okay, so this is our highest point on RSI. You can clearly see that's where the third was. You will always get divergence between your third and your fifth. So if you're ever looking at an asset and you're wondering, you know, where's my third, where's my fifth, just go up to the higher time frame and look for your highest point on your RSI. That is where it's going to tell you that your third is. And then you'll have that bearish divergence between your third and your fifth. Really pretty simple, actually. So 5-wave move. Now this has come deep. So there's no chance for this to be a fourth wave or anything. But it does have the chance, and I would think that it would do this, to hold and not break the bottom of this 5-wave move. And right now, it sort of looks like a zigzag, and we're at the 1-to-1. So it's got to hold. So the third wave, started here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's the thing. If it doesn't hold this 1-to-1, it's going to take out its bottom. And if it does that, it's going to mean, and unfortunately what it's going to mean is that this is an ABC here. I don't like that. Like, really? So that it's got to hold this red line. Like, and it's got to hold this 1-to-1. So let's look at this little guy here. See what he is, or her. All right. So here's what it can do. And this is what it's going to need to do. It's going to need to, and it's corrective, but it needs to use this, get up into this prior fourth, and then truncate for a fifth. That it has to do this. If it doesn't, then it's going to take the bottom out, and then this whole thing was corrective. And when Bitcoin decides to rally, it will rally. But if it can hold this and not break this bottom, this is a wave 1 and a wave 2. Okay. But I don't see where this is like this is done and this is the start of something. It's too corrective. This was 3, 3, 5. You can clearly see the 3 waves down, and then the 3 waves up. Okay. And now we have this little connector, which means this could potentially come deeper. But what it can do is make this an A, come deep, and even if it breaks the bottom a little bit, then you can get a big C wave up for a flat. That is really what it needs to do. Get it back up into this 4th wave territory, and then truncate for a 5th. Okay. Let me read the bottom of the chat, see if you guys answered my questions. Oh, thank you for Alpha. Thank you for asking for the likes, and I really appreciate it, guys. You hitting the likes. And I will say it now, I've got some people still here. If you are interested in joining the Discord, I do teach my entire system there. And it's not just Elliott Wave. Like, I know some of you are like, oh, Elliott Wave, I don't think I can learn that. But it's really, honestly easy. It's just 3s and 5s. I mean, that is all it is. But there's more to it than that. A lot more to it. My system than that. All right, Luna. And Luna I should have over here. Where are you, Luna? I know I have you. All right, well, I ain't going to sit here and search for you. Let's try this one. So we go out to the weekly, and that was a blaster, right? Here's our 3rd, here's our 5th. Pretty easy. Okay. So we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A little weird at the top. This looks like 3 pullback, 3 pullback, 1, 2, 3. Okay, there it is. Okay, so let's see. The 3rd is here. Oops. Is there more data back here, anybody? Can anybody tell me real quick if there's more data for Luna? Because if there isn't, then Luna looks done. And this is why. And this is a good little, maybe, tidbit that will help you guys. So at the bottom, you have these 1 waves, okay? And we call this a nest, okay? Where you get 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, say. We'll see how I have that here. I have that 1 and that 2 and that 1 and that 2. That means that I need a 3, a 4, and a 5 to go with each one of these. So we could say here's the circles and here's the star or whatever scribbles. Okay, so this would be the top of the third for the scribbles. Here's the fourth for the scribbles, and here's the fifth for the scribbles. Okay, but I don't have another one wave to justify for this to be a higher degree fourth. If there's some kind of one back here, and I don't have it, I don't see it, okay, but say there is, then we can justify that this will hold potentially its prior degree fourth, and that it can possibly kick up for another fifth wave. But if there's no more data back here, and I don't remember who requested this, then yeah, I don't know how it's going to make another fourth because I don't have a one to go with it. Okay. But if there is more data, then, okay, it needs to hold this fourth in here. I'd even allow it to come down like maybe to here. And then it needs to make this looks like 3, 3, and it's going to do 5 or 3, something like that. And then it could kick up for a fifth. But if not, then this is the first leg of a correction that's going to come deeper. And it could potentially come deep. And, you know, but the good news is what happens is all of this turns into a wave 1. This pullback will turn into a 2. It will take a while, and then blast off for a big, huge 3. Okay? If there's more data back there, then we can get a fifth. If not, I don't see how we can. How it can. Okay. There's a lot of alts, you know it? Out there. Kimmo, can you let me know if you're still here? That would be nice, because you requested like 5 in a row there, and don't want to go over all those if you're still not here. Okay. All right, QNT. QNT. All right, so I'm going to assume that there's some more data back here somewhere. And that this wasn't the entire I hate Binance because it gives you all these wicks.